All right, so are you ready to dive into like the world of online business? You know, those promises of like $100,000 a month earnings. Maybe you're already an entrepreneur or, maybe you're just curious about the strategies. Either way, like today, we're doing a deep dive into a single source. It's a YouTube video by Ryan Daniel Moran. And in it, he lays out his 8-step plan to hit $1 million in 12 months. Now, Ryan's no stranger to success. He's built and sold multiple businesses, so he clearly knows a thing or two, right? But don't worry, we've got expert speaker here to kind of help us sift through the hype and see if these steps hold up, under scrutiny.
I'm always interested to see how seasoned entrepreneurs break down their success. And Moran's approach is definitely appealing, especially for those new to the game. He offers a very concrete plan, which can feel reassuring when you're starting out.
Okay, so let's break down this 8-step plan. Step 1 is a bit of a surprise. It's not about picking a product or a niche. It's about picking a person. Moran really emphasizes choosing a specific individual you want to serve, someone with a real need that your business can fulfill.
What's fascinating about this approach is the long-term vision behind it. It's not just about making a quick sale. It's about building a brand that resonates with a specific audience on a deep personal level. That kind of connection, it fosters loyalty that can last for years. This means you're not just selling a product. You're building a tribe, a community of people who resonate with your mission. That's powerful.
Right. Moran even gives an example from his own business. He says, I help entrepreneurs build million-dollar businesses. It's a very targeted and clear statement of who he serves. I wonder if you were starting a business today, who would your ideal person be? What problem would you be solving for them?
And something to think about, even if you're not planning to launch a business anytime soon. It's just understanding this concept of, identifying your target audience. It can be helpful in any field. Absolutely. It's about understanding who you're talking to and what they care about, whether you're selling a product, writing a blog post, or even just trying to persuade a friend.
Okay, moving on to step 2. Building a launch list of 100 people. Moran believes in cultivating a small, engaged audience before you even have a product. And he specifically suggests using email lists as a way to build those long-term relationships with potential customers.
The power of email lists is often overlooked in today's world of social media. But think about it. You have direct access to your audience. You control the messaging, and you're fostering a deeper connection than you can on most social platforms. You're not competing with algorithms or, fleeting attention spans.
And Moran claims you can actually start generating revenue with this launch list by, pre-selling and building anticipation. Even before you have a finished product, there's definitely a strategy there. Now, step 3 is where things get audacious. Moran talks about aiming for a $10,000 launch. With just 100 people on your list, that sounds like a pretty steep goal.
It's ambitious, for sure. But Moran advocates for something he calls a structured launch, which often involves creating a sense of scarcity and urgency. Think limited time offers, early bird discounts, that sort of thing. The idea is to generate some early momentum and get some cash flowing.
That makes sense. Early wins can be so motivating, especially when you're just starting out. But of course, hype can only get you so far. You also need to deliver real value. Speaking of value, step 4 is all about getting 100 reviews or pieces of feedback.
This is where social proof comes into play. Reviews and testimonials are incredibly persuasive. They build trust, they boost conversion rates, and they provide great content for marketing. Remember that small launch list from step 2? Now you can see how those early customers become invaluable assets as you grow.
It's all connected. Each step builds on the last. So you've got your initial sales, you're building social proof, and now it's time to scale. Step 5, reaching 25 sales per day. Moran presents this as the first major milestone. On the path to that 100 sales per day goal.
Moran calls this the flywheel process. You take the positive feedback, the reviews, and you use that to fuel your marketing, driving more traffic and sales. He is upfront that this is the stage where the real work kicks in, and it could take 30 to 90 days of consistent effort to get there.
But he offers a powerful motivator. He says, when you're at $1,000 a day and you realize you've only got to do this a few times to have $1 million business, that's when the light bulb goes on. I can see how hitting that daily target would be a game changer. Suddenly that $1 million goal feels within reach.
It's about shifting your perspective. It's no longer just a distant dream, but a tangible goal with a clear path to get there. Now, step 6 introduces a really intriguing concept, building a 100-person ambassador team. This is about nurturing those raving fans, the people who love your brand and are eager to spread the word.
So how do you turn enthusiastic customers into a marketing force?
This is where Moran's traffic triangle strategy comes in. I won't spoil all the details here, but it's essentially a system for leveraging your inner circle of passionate advocates to generate organic reach and build a loyal following.
Our little teaser to keep us all intrigued. Moving on to step 7, we get into the realm of scalability. Moran uses an example. He says, we only need 4 products at 25 sales a day. To have 100 sales a day at a $30 price point, that's $1 million business.
He emphasizes the importance of systems and processes for repeatable success.
It's about building a business model that can be replicated and doesn't rely on one-hit wonders.
And here's a key takeaway from step 7. Launching additional products actually becomes easier because you have the assets from your previous efforts, your launch list, your reviews, your existing customer base. It's like that snowball effect gaining momentum as it rolls.
Exactly the initial work you put in. It lays the foundation for future growth. Okay, finally we arrive at step 8 life at 100 sales per day. This is where Moran shifts the focus to the realities and challenges of running $1 million business. It's not just about hitting that magic number. It's about what comes next.
He gets into some really important topics here, like the difference between revenue and profit, the concept of building enterprise value, the psychological impact, or perhaps the lack thereof, of hitting millionaire status, and the difficult strategic decisions you'll face as you scale.
It's getting real. Moran definitely doesn't sugarcoat the entrepreneurial journey. He talks about the constant problems, the mental toll, the feeling of never being able to switch off. He even goes so far as to say that running a business can be a shitty life. You're constantly glued to a screen dealing with inventory issues, facing negative reviews, and fending off attacks from competitors. You can never truly shut off your brain because the problems never seem to end.
You know what I find refreshing about Moran? He doesn't shy away from the less glamorous aspects of entrepreneurship. It's a stark contrast to, like, the get-rich-quick schemes you often see out there. His honesty is what makes his perspective so valuable. He's not selling a fantasy. He's giving you a glimpse into the real world of building a business.
That's a good point. Knowing all this, does this path still appeal to you?
Yeah.
It's a question worth asking yourself.
It's definitely a reality check that many aspiring entrepreneurs need to hear. Well, Moran is very clear that, this path isn't for everyone. He even suggests that, like, if you can find something else that brings you happiness and fulfillment, you might be better off doing that instead.
So who is cut out for this life?
According to Moran, the most successful entrepreneurs are the ones who feel like they have no other choice. They're driven by, like, an inner fire, a deep-seated passion that can't be ignored. It's that I can't do anything else and be happy feeling. They're willing to endure the ups and downs, the constant problem solving, because building a business is more than just a job to them. It's a calling.
He talks about it being less about the desire for riches and more about that internal drive to create something valuable, to make a difference in the world.
Right, and he stresses the importance of, having the right mindset going into it. You need to be prepared for the challenges, the setbacks, the moments when you want to give up. He even describes those first 6 months as like a period where it might feel like nothing is happening. You're putting in the work, but you're not seeing the results yet. It's easy to get discouraged, to start doubting yourself and the process.
That makes sense. You're putting yourself out there, investing time and energy, and it can be tough to stay motivated when you don't see immediate returns.
But Moran emphasizes that those who persevere, who trust the plan and keep refining their approach, are the ones who eventually see that, like, hockey stick growth. It's about playing the long game, understanding that real success takes time and consistent effort.
It's almost like a test of your commitment to the vision.
Exactly. And another thing he talks about is having a strong support system, a community of like-minded individuals who get it, who understand the challenges, and can offer encouragement and guidance.
That makes a lot of sense. You can't do it all alone. You need people who've been there, who can relate to the ups and downs and help you navigate, like, the inevitable obstacles.
Absolutely. Moran even talks about the, like, internal resistance that entrepreneurs face. It's that voice of doubt, the fear of failure, the urge to play it safe. It's something that's hard to explain to someone who hasn't experienced it firsthand.
I imagine it's like an invisible barrier that you have to push through.
Right. And when you're surrounded by other entrepreneurs who are going through similar struggles, it normalizes those feelings and helps you overcome them.
Okay, so let's say you've embraced this entrepreneurial mindset. You're prepared to put in the work. You found your support system, and you actually hit that $1 million milestone. Does everything magically become easier at that point?
Not necessarily. Moran warns that what got you to $1 million might not be what takes you to 10 million. There's a whole different set of skills and challenges involved. in scaling a business beyond that initial success.
What are some of those challenges?
Well, he talks about the trap of trying to simply duplicate the process. That worked for your first million. You might be tempted to keep launching new products, thinking that's the key to exponential growth.
It seems intuitive. More products, more sales, right?
But Moran argues that it's often more effective to double down on the products that are already working, focus on improving those existing offerings, and deepening your connection with your current customer base. He says once you're at 100 sales a day, your focus can go into not more, but better. It's about refining your processes, optimizing your marketing, and delivering even more value to your customers.
So it's a shift from expansion to optimization. Instead of chasing new opportunities, you're deepening your roots in the markets you've already established.
Exactly. And this is where the concept of enterprise value comes into play. It's not just about revenue, it's about building a business that's actually worth something, an asset that you could potentially sell down the line.
So how would you explain enterprise value to someone who's not familiar with the term?
Think of it like this: enterprise value is basically how much your business is worth if someone were to buy it. It takes into account things like your revenue, your profit margins, your assets, your debts, and your future growth potential. It's about building a sustainable business. That's more than just a job for you.
That's a great explanation. So building a business with high enterprise value should be a goal, even if you don't plan on selling it, right?
Absolutely. It means you're building something solid, something that can generate consistent profits and stand the test of time. And it's something investors and potential buyers look for.
Now, what about the mental and emotional side of reaching that $1 million mark? I'd imagine it's a pretty big moment for most entrepreneurs.
You'd think so, right? But Moran actually shares something interesting about his own experience. He says it wasn't this life-changing, euphoric moment he expected. In fact, it didn't really change who he was or how he felt on a day-to-day basis.
So hitting that financial goal didn't necessarily bring lasting happiness or fulfillment.
That seems to be his point. He even jokes that his headline should be, "I help people make so much money that it causes an existential crisis, and they realize that money doesn't make them happy." Of course, he's being a bit tongue-in-cheek. But there is a deeper truth there.
It's a reminder that true fulfillment often comes from pursuing your passions, building something meaningful, and making a positive impact, not just chasing financial success.
Right, money can certainly provide freedom and opportunities,
Yeah.
but it's not like the be-all and end-all of a fulfilling life.
Okay, so let's say you've hit that $1 million mark. You have the financial resources to potentially delegate tasks, hire experts, and experiment with new ideas. What's next? How do you avoid getting overwhelmed or losing focus?
Well, Moran emphasizes the importance of staying focused, even with increased resources. He says, instead of pursuing every idea or new tactic, you will be paying other people to do those things for you.
So you're essentially building a team to handle the day-to-day operations while you focus on the big picture.
Exactly. It's about leveraging your resources strategically and building systems that allow you to scale without spreading yourself too thin.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You've built a foundation, you've established your core offerings. Now it's about delegating effectively and trusting your team to execute.
Right. And he talks about resisting the urge to chase every new trend or a shiny object that comes along. It's about planting deep roots and allowing your team to explore new avenues while you stay focused on like the core aspects of your business.
It sounds like a balancing act between staying focused on your core strengths and also being open to new opportunities and innovations.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're strategically growing your business without getting distracted or losing sight of your vision.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from the nitty-gritty realities of the entrepreneurial life to the strategic decisions you'll face as you scale your business. But I think there's another layer to Moran's message that's relevant even for those who aren't necessarily aiming to build $1 million business.
I think I know where you're going with this. It's about the underlying principles of success that can be applied to any field, right?
Exactly. Moran's 8-step plan provides a framework for building a business, but the core concepts are transferable to almost any endeavor.
Whether you're leading a team or pursuing a creative passion or simply trying to excel in your career, these principles can give you like a real edge. It's about identifying your target audience, building relationships, delivering value, and using feedback to constantly improve.
Yeah, it's like he's distilled the essence of success into these 8 steps, picking a person, building a launch list, launching a product, gathering feedback, scaling to 25 sales a day, cultivating ambassadors, launching more products, and then managing life of 100 sales a day.
Even if we take away the specific tactics, those core principles remain powerful. Focus, consistency, building relationships, delivering value, and continuous improvement. These aren't just trendy business buzzwords. They're like timeless principles that have proven effective across fields.
Yeah, it's about adopting a growth mindset. Seeing challenges as opportunities for learning and never settling for good enough. Always striving to be better.
And something crucial to remember is that success isn't a destination, it's a journey. There will be highs and lows, setbacks and victories along the way.
So true, you're never really done. You're always evolving and learning.
Right, and if you're genuinely passionate about what you're doing, if you're willing to put in the work and learn from your mistakes, you can achieve incredible things. Moran's own story is like a testament to that. He started with nothing, built multiple successful businesses, and now he's sharing his knowledge to help others do the same.
He's a great example of someone who took those core principles and built something remarkable.
Mm.
And it's inspiring to see someone who's reached that level of success, still so focused on giving back and helping others.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought. What's your million-dollar dream? It doesn't have to be about money. It could be any goal that truly lights you up, that makes you feel alive and excited about each day.
Yeah, what steps can you take today to start moving towards that dream? What resources can you tap into? Who can you reach out to for support and guidance?
Remember, you have the power to create the life you want. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it.
And hey, if you do end up building that million-dollar empire, don't forget about us. Maybe send a little thank you note our way. Just kidding. But seriously, we're cheering you on every step of the way. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep chasing those dreams. Until next time, happy diving.